In our theme today, uniting to build a safer and smarter Singapore, without the anchor of being united, nothing lasting can be achieved. Being united is not being totally uniform or completely homogeneous. I would like to propose that it is about different people in different roles and technologies being integrated through a common set of first principles, all striving for a common purpose. And I thank you for being so generous in sharing your amazing ideas and successes today. Today we have seen creativity, collaboration, intentionality, and collective human grit and a can-do spirit, combining into a positive force, uniting to tackle challenges to make things better. You are leading by example in demonstrating the power of being united in mission and in purpose. There are so many lessons and themes from today's presentation. From SCDF in their computer-aided dispatch, hazmat system, tracking system, the DRO, they have made applications, the GIS applications easy to use for people who need to respond and think quick on their feet, seeing into angles and spaces that are otherwise very hard to see. At JTC, working through the life cycle of the estate from planning stages to construction and the following, using a very data-driven approach, always staying customer-centric and making the built terrain serve people. From HDB, we heard from Elizabeth the holistic planning focus, from greenery to mobility, heritage to smart urban solutions, leveraging on one data set for many users, and their very carefully designed automation, so thoroughly designed because prevention is far less costly than correction. And when we had SCDS kickstart us and keeping us safe from the land, we now have closed off with MPA, keeping us safe at sea with a portfolio of digital twins. These endeavors have much in common, one of which is the use of geospatial technologies for a safer and smarter Singapore, foundational data, infrastructure, foundation models, and software. All these are ingredients that have come together to be greater than the sum of its parts. The other thing that is common is the essence that brings them all together, putting them in the right place at the right time, and that is your human spirit, where there's a direction of purpose, an imagination to try new things, courage to make trade-offs, and uniting different ideas and different parts into a larger design with the persistence and grit and sweat to make it work. Human creativity, intentionality, and passion to serve others have steered technological progress in positive directions that have helped societies to develop and grow over the generations. For what good is a technology if it's not for protecting lives and improving lives? Machines and algorithms can process data and perform tasks, and AI is making advances in leaps and bounds. There was an article in The Economist recently that quoted someone as saying, a computer may be better at humans than playing chess, but we still love playing chess. We still enjoy playing chess. And so I wonder how much enjoyment the AI felt when it won. And so I suggest to you that it is the human mind and the spirit that envisions new possibilities, reframes questions to find new solutions to problems. So each award presented today is one way of how my colleagues and I at Esri Singapore and Baustit would like to recognize your hard work, dedication, and spirit, and we enjoyed doing that. Once upon a time, there was a young man in his early 20s taking a flight on an airplane. The airplane was at 30,000 feet, and out the window he could see the terrain and the land below as the plane flew over Minnesota to Colorado to Utah to Las Vegas. Now, some of you might have guessed by now that this young man was a 21-year-old Jack Benjamin, the founder of Esri. In a book that Jack published last year called The Power of Where, he recounted what he saw as he looked out below. Spatial systems were everywhere, water streams and hydrology systems, agricultural systems and forest ecosystems, road networks, interconnecting urban towns large and small. And he recalls this excitedly as an aha moment when he first got the idea that geography and systems modeling provide a framework to understand everything, that systems interconnect, and the world is a system of systems. So in our local context here, maybe we can imagine flying from Changi, a well-designed and run as one of the busiest airports in the world, flying over to Ang Mo Kio, built to provide good homes and estates that outdo so many council housing projects in all other parts of the world. And then over the catchment water, central water catchment, where we get our water and where so much wildlife thrives. And turn southeast over Bukit Timah Hill towards Sentosa, and turn westwards and follow the coastline to Jurong Island until we reach Tuas, where the sea and the land meet, on which we and so many other countries in the region rely on for critical supply chains. It may look different from the terrain that Jack saw back in 1966, but I'm sure you can picture the system of systems over this route in Singapore as well. If a system is greater than the sum of its parts, you can imagine the power of a system of systems having even greater potential and importance. For this, Jack emphasizes that it needs collaboration of many groups and teams. And to collaborate, we need to communicate. And speaking of communication, as Elizabeth from HDB mentioned, maps are a form of language. After all, a picture tells 1,000 words. And many of you and our award winners today have certainly come to realize maps and models describe the real terrain, physical, social, thematic, and some even with a dynamic heartbeat of time. Scenarios of a future can be modeled and communicated using maps. And they all need accuracy, truth, imagination, and hard work. Maps are a form of language that can be powerfully and masterfully used to engage other people, direct and indirect stakeholders, facilitating a process and wider conversation to bring people along. This is why GIS is also called a system of engagement. And at this point, I would like to acknowledge something else very important to all of you in this room, because I've said this before and I'd like to share this again. You make maps not only for yourselves, but also for others as well. Doing the hard work of working with data and designing the right map or digital model to convey the broader context or deeper meaning or sense of urgency. My colleagues and I see this time and time again, and through that journey, people like you naturally come to realize that the work you're doing is more than just about me. It is an attitude that is not vain or self-serving. It is an attitude that naturally guides you to focus on making the environment safer and better, not just for yourself, but also for others. Through this, you use the insight you gain to tell the story with a map. My colleagues will always be here to help you keep on making your maps to tell your stories. And in a sense, I guess, together, we are a system of systems of expertise and human spirit, each with different roles, but sharing the same desired, better future. And so in closing, just one more suggestion I'd like to offer you. I'm pretty sure that all of you in this room did not foresee several years ago that you would be here demonstrating how GIS can matter to so many, that you'll be here celebrating achievements through GIS, demonstrating how GIS can matter in so many new situations and roles. You have shown that there is no such thing as a standalone geospatial job. I'm not taking away anything from the geospatial experts here, but all of you have shown that every job can be a kind of GIS job, because each of you have incorporated GIS more deeply into your work. Each of you have applied GIS to augment your methods and processes and communication. And I think we can all play a part in encouraging other collaborators to pursue deeper understanding and applying geospatial thinking in their spheres of work and in their careers. These Geospatial Innovation Awards may be just a once-a-year event, but we are mindful that many of you have already been doing your work for many, many years. My colleagues and I thank you once again for your generosity and your creative spirit. And these awards are our way of recognizing and honoring you, and to continuing the journey ahead with you. So if you have found the time today well invested, please continue to share your favorite ideas of the day with others whom you meet, to strive on uniting more and more people to a shared future of a safer and smarter future for Singapore. Thank you, and see you again next year.